Hello and welcome everyone. So I'm going to do a video here and shed some light on a little more information on viruses and the lymphatic system. Now, a virus basically can be either DNA or RNA, and some viruses are also enclosed by an envelope of fat and protein molecules. In its infective form, outside the cell, a virus particle is called a virion. And this right here is, sorry, so you can see it there, folks. I don't want to cover it up, but this is basically showing a virus structure. And you can kind of see it's got spikes and it looks really tough, and it looks like something that obviously is not going to work with antibiotics. And this is one of the reasons why Western medicine has came up with antiviral drugs. And if you want to know more about that, you need to watch my video. I'll include a link below this video as well as other links that are important about the dangers of antivirals. Those are definitely dangerous pharmaceuticals, and again, what you're watching on the mainstream media is all funded by the drug companies, so they're going to tell you their biased stories and information regarding drugs. If you don't understand that, watch my Deception of Allopathic Medicine video, which I did in December 2015. I'll try to, in September 2015, I'll try to include a link on that below this video as well. And you can watch that. The first 15 minutes will really explain how the medical system works. And you're always taught from the time you're a baby till the time you're even a teenager, all the way up through your adulthood, through your whole life, if you stay in that system, the prison system of health, because you're locked in a prison of reoccurring symptoms and taking drugs to combat those symptoms. And that system is only explaining to you what they know and to keep you for life. So with the quote-unquote word cure, they use that to fund other operations, and very meaningless. Not the issues that people are dying from aren't meaningless, but the meaningless groups of other organizations they have to find a cure. There is nothing they're looking for, because that would defeat their business model. It's common sense. Don't understand it? Now that you have the basics, you can look at more information from there. Looking for information on what I'm going to explain further from the mainstream media is not going to happen. So if you're completely brainless, and I hate to be rude, but I need to be blunt, if you're completely brainless, you cannot think for yourself due to GMOs, too much propaganda, which is funded by the mainstream media, which is funded by these organizations, then you're stuck. There's nothing anyone can do. I mean, anyone can email me, which rarely happens these days, and say, James, how do I get rid of this? Can I do it? I don't know. Can you walk? Can you eat? Can you run? I don't know what you can do. What I can do and the information I put up is a different story. Can I do something? Absolutely. I can do anything I put my mind to. Can you? You gotta ask that question. Can most other people, if they put their mind to it? Absolutely. But if you have to ask yourself and ask somebody if you can do something, then you're probably not going to succeed. And that's not something of negativity, that's just facts. So let's go in here. This is an NS1 protein, okay? NS1 protein, if you know what that is, comes from a mosquito bite, and this can be very severe, and this is what this brief part of the video is going to show.
These fluids escaping from your bloodstream that leads to then shock and potentially death. The disease causes vascular leak. Thus, we think this is too much of a coincidence, and we feel that NS1 now should be considered as part of the causal factors in dengue severe disease.
Okay, so what does that mean, folks? What does that mean for you? Well, here is the NS1 protein. Okay, this is what it looks like, and this is what they have found. Again, this is coming from a mosquito, and these are these very colorful pictures. And this is something that happens that gets in your body, and basically, just to kind of sum things up, if you get any viral, in fact, let's say the flu. Okay, first off, if you're eating the way I'm showing you in my videos, and you're detoxing your lymph system, which I'm going to show you more on, you're not going to have these problems. And of course, the oregano oil will help. It's a very powerful antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. From my own experience, I can definitely speak highly from my own experience that when I had a very weak gut years ago, I would say 6-7 years ago, at least 6 years ago, and I was constantly getting food poisoning and having these problems, I really used the oregano oil as a tool to get rid of those symptoms. That's all anyone can do when you get an issue such as this problem when you go to the hospital. And again, disclaimer, I'm not telling you not to go to the hospital. If you have a high fever, that's something you need to make a decision on. I've had very high fevers. I've used the oregano oil to break those down. I've used coconut oil and coconut water to really help with issues. Did that fix the underlying problem? Of course not. If your lymph system is extremely stagnated, you're going to continue to get these problems. That is based off of your immune system, but the brain of your immune system is your lymphatic system. So, with that said, let me go ahead and show you folks this information. I want to show you what they just spoke about on this particular fever. It's caused by a virus. There's no specific medicine or antibiotic to treat it. Only treatment to treat the symptoms. Now, this can be very serious. There's the lovely mosquito that anybody can be bitten from. That's not to scare you, but again, you need to really understand that there's a lot of symptoms that you're going to get, and these symptoms are high fever, rash, muscle and joint pain. In severe cases, you can get serious bleeding, shock, could be life-threatening. Okay, so with that said, here is the beautiful, sorry about that folks, here is the beautiful lymphatic system. Okay, so I wanted to pick this photo just to kind of show some color here of the overall lymph system. And this is something anybody can take a look at and you'll be able to see. So if this gets stagnated, kind of like the oil in your car, where if you don't change it every so often, let's say you weigh 10,000 miles, maybe not the newer cars, but let's say the older ones, maybe a 20-year-old car, they weren't designed for that, you could get what's called sludge oil. And that sludginess would back up. You pull out the dipstick when you actually want to check your oil, and you could see that it's sludge. That is basically what will happen with the stagnation inside of your lymph system. So that's going to cause you to not obviously function at your best. And when you're at your worst, you're going to be in severe chronic stage and you're going to have a lot of problems. Okay, so now let's look at the lymphatic system. Is a subsystem of the circulatory system. And I'm going to say that, let's kind of speed up this here. It's a complex network of vessels, tissues, and organs. Now it's going to help you maintain fluid balance. You're going to basically, I mean, you're not going to, but your lymph system is going to have the collecting of the excess fluid and the particular matter from the tissues, depositing them into the bloodstream. Okay. So the most important part here is it also helps defend the body against infection by supplying disease-fighting cells called lymphocytes. So if, let's say you had a mouth infection, and I talked about this before, and you have a mouth infection and you are getting swollen under your jaw. I could tell you when I first started detoxing that this particular area, and I'm going to kind of show this here, this particular area right here is where I'm talking about. This area is the big problem of where that swelling happened. And this is a cause of, obviously I had my tonsils out in my life, and they were so infected that they had to be out. Or did they? Now that I know this information, it's taken me a long time to learn this, and I've really detoxed, and now that I've really incorporated herbs and really went to all fruit this time, and I've been doing that for about a month and a half, I've noticed a massive difference. Did this happen where it was swelling on both sides in the beginning? Absolutely. And I knew that was a fantastic sign, especially with mouth ulcers, which are acids coming out of the body. And it was painful for a few weeks, folks. And in the beginning, it didn't happen to that level, and I knew this time when doing the herbs before I actually started really detoxing with all fruit, working my way up, it really worked this time. So everything, basically what I'm showing you here in this video is to show that everything in your lymph system gets backed up, but that's what's happening with these proteins. And a viral, any viral, basically HIV, herpes, anything with attached to a name, is a viral protein that's going to get eventually dumped in this massive, I mean, look at this, folks, massive sea of tangled webs, kind of like a spider. So really, keep watching my videos if this is the first one you've watched in the last 45 days from the date of this video, and really educate yourself and move forward with the fruits, berries, and melons. That's the berries. I would do one full meal berries, then another full meal berries, maybe some grapes after your berries, kind of move forward that way. Please view my other videos and learn more. Thank you so much, folks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.